Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Divine Journey. Since last episode, I will say I'm about to start up a speed build right after this episode. I honestly, between episodes, I spent the majority of the time prepping for this episode. I did spend a little bit of time over in the storage building, just doing some work on that upper floor, working on the roof and stuff like that, but very minute stuff. The majority of my time was spent. I did a bit of research because I had to get stuff like transmutative wand core because I hadn't researched that. And then I ended up going ahead and researching everything within Atomic Tinkering. I had a question in the comments about, let's see, Atomic Tinkering right here using the Dynamism tablet. Using that for our altar setups, for our automation areas. And at first I was like, oh yeah, we might try that. That's a really cool idea. But the problem is Dynamism tablet does not place upside down, like on the bottom of a block. So it would really look kind of funny. And yeah, it wouldn't quite work for our needs. So I think what we're going to end up sticking with is our autonomous activator like that. Also, this episode, like I said, after this episode, I'm going to be speed building. I decided to go ahead and get into what we're going to be doing today. That way I can go ahead and get started, because we're going to be starting Witchery on the back half of this episode. I'd like to go ahead and get started with Witchery before I start speed building, truth be told. So the speed build, I'm planning for this video to probably be out Tuesday. I don't think it's going to make it by Monday, and that's simply due to the fact that I won't have time to get everything edited. I have a feeling that Tuesday is going to be a big bulk day, probably the majority of the series. Just all in one day, quite a few episodes coming out on Tuesday. That's just because I've got time to record, but I don't know that I'll have time to get everything edited before that hits. So because I've kind of got some time where I can just kind of sit and record, and I'd like to use that for recording. Editing is a little bit easier to do when there's more stuff going on, like in my apartment. So I will be doing a bit of bulk recording and whatnot. Also, the speed build, let's see, this video, like I said, is probably going to come out on Tuesday. The speed build will probably be out on a Wednesday, I imagine. We're going to be working on Witchery area for probably the majority of all of that episode. So anyways, like I said, I spent the majority of the time between episodes prepping. And that is due to the fact that, oh my gosh, it took so much Essentia to get ready for this episode. Over here, I did automate another Alembic setup. And what I got running is, I'm sure it's going to pump one in just a moment. I've got a crafting card set up. Riding crops from Forbidden Magic. Now, if you're not familiar with riding crops, these are what you use to actually get the lust shards from Forbidden Magic. You can use them as a melee weapon, or if you're on a mount, you can smack the mount, and it does, I think it's like a half a heart or a heart of damage or something like that, and it speeds up the mount. If you're in the nether and you mount something and use the riding crop on it, or you use the riding crop as a melee weapon, there's a small chance that you're going to get a lust shard. But the riding crop does have the Luxuria, I believe it's called, that little pink tentacle thing. It does have that, in addition to Tellum, which we actually weren't producing Tellum from any other source, so now we have Tellum being produced from that riding crop as well. And it's very, very simple to craft that, by the way. It is simply sticks and leather. So very, very cheap. That's why I've just got it being crafted and being sent into the Arcane Alembics. So we do have that coming in. So I prepped that up. Oh wow, we're actually over 1,000 on that now. Tellum, we've got over 1,000. NVIDIA, we have 624. What I did for NVIDIA was I just smelted up comparators. Just smelted up a bunch of comparators and said, okay, there you go. Because comparators each have 2 in it. And then Limus, I actually accidentally made a little bit more of this than I intended to. I don't actually need 600 of it right now. But that I just melted up slime balls. So you can also do congealed green slime, but it doesn't produce as much for the slime cost, so there's not really a whole lot of point to doing that. Oh, and if you didn't see on the thumbnail, I put our infusion claw just right on top of our runic matrix, just for looks. And oh, our tools, I got those back, by the way. I just went to a backup and snagged it and transferred it over. So, and I made a bunch of storage disks for all of that, and I prepped up stuff that we're going to be using for today, just to kind of streamline this whole process a little bit more. I did go ahead and prep up charged caps, so we can make our Icorium caps, and then we're going to have to make the wand core and all of that. So, anyways, we're going to have to make a couple Icorium caps, and I think that's where we're going to start today. I'd like to start with some of our ichor stuff, maybe get our ichor wand, is my goal. And then we'll start moving into Witchery for the back half of the episode. So Icorium caps, of course, we're going to need 2 of these. We need Percantio, Potentia, Invidia, Luxuria, Ignis, a lot of every aspect for each Icorium cap. It's very, very expensive. But I think I've got pretty much everything prepped for this. We're going to need 1 charged Void Metal cap, 3 charged Thaumium. Charged Void Metal, by the way, is just Salus Mundus. With Inert Void. Inert Void is Gaia Spirits. I did farm the Gaia Guardian. That's another thing I did. I did farm the Gaia Guardian quite a bit. So we have quite a bit of spirits left over. I just farmed the rank 1. I was just like, whatever. Because I can kill him without even, like, thinking about it. And so I just kind of killed him while I was watching my shows. So, anyways, our charged caps, there's our 2 Void Metal caps, our 6 Thaumium caps. And then we are going to need ichor. I made a bunch of ichor stuff. So we're going to need 6 ichor cloth and 6 Icorium. And then what else are we going to need for this? I think that's everything. Yeah. But when I say that this episode took like a lot of hours of prep work, I mean it. This episode took, I think, as far as like, if you don't include building, like just as far as just prepping, just massive amounts of material items and things like that. I think this episode probably took the longest in a very long while. Because I didn't really get a whole lot of building done at all. As you can tell, like I got a little bit done, but it's very minute, all things considered. Okay, I think I've got this all laid out. There we go. We'll get that thing running. It is going to take a while for this to craft, and then I'm going to have to do it again for a second set of wand caps. So it's quite expensive. So I don't know if I want to start Witchery and kind of do it as we do all these infusions, or some of it. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, let's take a look at the Celestial Peril. We're gonna have to get one of these from Thaumic Tink. Well, that's infusion too. Okay, yeah, I'll be back in a minute once this infusion is done. This is going to be a very, very long episode to record, I can already tell you. Because there's so many infusions that I just take hundreds of each aspect. It's just crazy. So I'll be back in just a bit. You know what I actually just thought of? I can use this one up here too. This one would work as well as anything. So I'm going to go ahead and load this one up with a craft as well. Might as well, just so we've got... There we go. This one should be stable enough that it'll work. Yeah, since we're not using the claw anymore, so... Anyways, this is still going to take a long time even with both of those running, so I'll be back in just a bit. Okay, our 2 wand caps are done. Icorium cap and Icorium cap. Done. And that means this quest here is completed. We're going to get an overgrowth seed from that. Okay, now we can start working on the actual wand itself. And what we need is, this recipe doesn't show up in any eye, it's mentioned here. What we're going to need is an ichor cloth strapped Silverwood Wand core. Okay, so ichor cloth strapped Silverwood Wand core. For this, we're going to need 2 pieces of ichor, 2 ichor cloth, 2 Salus Mundus, and 2 gas blocks with a transmutative rod. Transmutative rod is actually fairly cheap to craft. Thank goodness. Just requires all 6 shards, Salus Mundus, and a Primal Charm. So let's go ahead and get that together. And we've got everything for that. So we'll go ahead and just lay this out. That was Primal Charm in the center. And we'll just use this altar up here. I'm going to start bouncing between these. I need to get that one all stabilized. So I haven't put any recipes in it, so I haven't stabilized it yet. But I really should have. I should have stabilized it before this episode, because it would have come in handy to have that. But that's okay. So all of our shards. There we go, and start. Okay, so that's going. And then for the ichor cloth strap Silverwood Wand core, we're going to need 2 ichor cloth, 2 ichor, and then we're going to need, I believe it was 2 Salus Mundus. So we'll get that ordered, and then we're going to need ghast blocks, which are basically just ghast tears. 2 of those. There we go, and our Salus Mundus is done. And that's pretty much everything. And all of these, Lucrum and Superbia, I know we've got, yeah, we've got those, so we're good. So we'll go ahead and lay this out. Ichor cloth, like that. Ichor, like that. Salus Mundus, and ghast block. And that is everything except for the transmutative rod, which that should be done by now. There we go. So we'll just pop that down right there and activate. Now this is going to take a little while to run. That's fine. We have another altar that's freed up. And let me go ahead and dump that and that back into the system. I grabbed that cobble because I had a little bit of flux flu. So I was like cleaning up flux. And then once we get that, we'll be able to make our new wand. The rest of it's all downhill after that. Okay, so since that last bit is running right now, we're going to switch gears and look at which witch is which. Okay? And for this, we're going to need anointing paste, and we're going to have to craft our witch's oven. We're going to start with the anointing paste. That is the Celestial Peril, which is crafted like so. So we're going to need 4 Enderium, and then we're going to need a piece of ichor, and then we need a Fluix Pearl and a Lapis Lazuli block. So there's that, and then the Fluix Pearl. There we go, and that should be everything that we need for our Celestial Peril. So Fluix Pearl right there, and then we'll do our Enderium. Just gonna place it around like that. Our Lapis block, ichor, and then our 2 shards. And there we go. It's activated and it's running. We should have all that stuff, no problem. And so that's going to take a little while to run, and this is going to take a little while to run. So I will be back again once these are done. So much infusion right now. It's crazy. So I'll be back. Okay. Our Celestial Pearls are done. We actually get 2 of these. And then what we can do to make our anointing paste. We have to run this through a Crucible, 128 Limus, 128 Herba, 128 Permutatio, and 64 Luxuria. And let me double check, make sure, yeah, we're good on Luxuria. We've got about 1,000, and I mean, it goes up. It's not the fastest thing in the world. I had that running for quite a while to build up what I have, since those riding crops only contain 1 of each. Now you can also do saddles or lust shards, but saddles are not craftable in this pack. Riding crops, I think, probably about the best option that we have. So anyways, we'll go ahead and let me actually check something here. The Celestial Peril, 1 focus Celestial Recall. I'll go with 1 for now. 1 anointing paste, that's fine. And it's going to start building up. It's going to take a while. It's going to take quite a while to craft this thing. So we'll let that run for a bit. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that other Celestial Pearl into there. And then our wand is done. Now, before we put that together, one thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and get the stuff laid out that we're going to need for the witch's oven, because this is also going to take a while. It takes 256 Machina Ignis per Cantio. So for this, we're going to need 4 Icorium, 4 Advanced Alchemical Constructs, 4 Mortem Blocks, and an Alchemical Furnace. So Advanced Alchemical Constructs, Alchemical Furnace, And then we are going to need our mortar blocks and our ichorium. Okay, I prepped a lot of ichorium stuff, and we have blasted through it today. We have definitely done some damage to it, to say the least. Alright. Mortar blocks, whoops. There we go, and ichorium. There we go. Okay, and we'll get that running. So, there we go. That is crafting, and that's going to be, that and the anointing base is what we need to really start getting into witchery. Okay. Alright, so the ichor cloth strapped wand, plus our 2 ichorium caps, and, need to go this way? No. This way? No. Oh, it says we have a quest completed in which witch is which. Anointing based. Okay, there we go. It counted it because it crafted it, I guess. So we're going to get 10 sloth shards for that. Okay. Now let me see. What am I using? 2 ichorium caps and ichor cloth strap Silverwood Wand core. This item isn't shown in the eye. Requires 100 of each aspect without cost reductions. Can store 1,000 of each aspect. Okay. Okay, I almost forgot, when it comes to the kami stuff, like the ichor cloth stuff, to actually be able to craft it. The reason I'm not able to craft it, I totally derped. It's been a while since I've done any kami stuff, truth be told, like the high-end Thaumic Tinkerer stuff. So pretty much like all of this, I'm pretty sure falls under that. You have to research everything within the Thaumonomicon, the vanilla Thaumonomicon. It doesn't have to be all this stuff. You have to research pretty much everything except for the Eldritch tab. You don't have to research it. I've researched everything here except for the Extremely Primordial Pearl, and I should have the staff research, I should think, but it might be after the Extremely Primordial Pearl. I can't remember, but it's not actually needed for kami, so I just have to go through. I mean, I've researched pretty much all of this. The only thing I'm missing is like this stuff in Artifice, like that, and then I'll have to get that. Now, it's possible there could be some knowledge fragment type stuff, like, where I have to research, like, specific items. But I don't think so. So, if there is, then I'll have to fix that. But I'm going to go through, I'm just going to research all this stuff real quick. I went ahead and made notes of everything. So, I'll be back in a bit. By the way, this witch's oven is done. So, that did get finished. So, I guess we'll go ahead and pick this up. Just so we can go ahead and turn that quest in. Which is which? Witch's oven is completed. There's no reward for that, but there's rewards for all this stuff. And this stuff is fairly easy to make once you get the witch's oven. So, anyways, I'll be back in just a bit once I get all this research done. Okay. That took a little while. I did end up getting like Primal Crusher and Staff Core of the Primal. I actually got those from knowledge fragments. If you combine 9 knowledge fragments, you get a random knowledge of something that you haven't researched yet. And then I went ahead and did the Extremely Primordial Pearl and the Akashic Records, because at first I thought it was related. I was like, well, maybe it does take the Eldritch tab, but it didn't. I was actually missing Golem Core Chop. After researching through everything, so I did get primal arrows and all that. Now, just a heads up, it did crash on me quite a bit while I was doing research, and it was related to the Primal Crusher. It was kind of funny because it says breaking all the things, and as soon as I got the research for this, it crashed. And then it crashed a little bit later whenever I finished it and activated it, and then also it crashed when I made Terminus. This is Lucrum and Alienus, the end of games Apocalypse Grindstones. This is just an Avaridia Essentia type, and it's needed for if you want to research this, like the Extremely Primordial Pearl and the Akashic Records. Those both take Terminus. So I went ahead and grabbed that. But anyways, if we take a look now at Thaumic Tinkering, we have a new research here unlocked. Ichor, Blood of the Gods, Forbidden Knowledge, Taboo. Okay, I'm going to need to get some ink. Uh-oh. This shouldn't be a power issue, but it's possible. I've noticed whenever I crash a lot like that, it's happened one other time. And whenever I crash a lot, sometimes the redstone gets out of whack here. Yeah, see, that's what happened. So I'm going to have to do something to fix that. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're just going to grab a couple of these and pow. Because, I mean, I crashed a lot while I was doing that research. So, anyways, let's grab a piece of this ink, and there we go, and we'll get our ichor research. And I'm going to do this one on camera because the calming research, that ichor research, is kind of a pivotal moment in Thaumcraft. It's something that is a pain in a lot of cases to unlock. It's just one of those not fun things. I did get a recipe for Wispy Dreamcatcher from Knowledge Fragments, but I didn't bother with it. I am pretty stoked to be at this point because, like, that means, I mean, I've pretty much researched all the vanilla Thaumcraft stuff. Now, I've still got, I don't know why I did that. I've still got other stuff from Modded that I still have to research, but I mean, the worst of it's out of the way now. Like, the worst of it is done. And I'm not really sure about this tainted goop. I don't know. Okay. Perdito. Yeah, we'll just lead in with that. You don't really run into the tainted goop all that often. So, yeah. Okay. TT Kami, Blood of the Gods, Ichor Research. And it is taboo. Okay, and now we've unlocked, like, Ichor Cloth, stuff like that, which we've been able to craft it, but now we unlock that as research. Now we're going to have to, well, there we go. It's been crashing like a ton as I do this Thaumcraft research. Okay, now I've got to research through a lot of this Kami stuff to get to where we need to be. So I will be back in a bit once I get to where we're trying to get to. Okay, so we've got the Ichor Cloth Strapped Silverwood Wand Core Research. And I've also researched down to the Icorium Wand Caps. So now, at long last, that was like an hour of just researching. It's terrible. I don't mind research. Like, I've done Thaumcraft enough times where I'm kind of like, research. But I don't really mind research too much if I take it in like slow, steady steps. But just like doing like an hour of research was rough. Okay, you'll see that it takes 76 of every aspect. And we can get our Icorium adorned Ichor Cloth Strapped Silverwood Wand. And this thing has a capacity of 1,000 of each V-type. Okay, this thing is a monster. So we're going to put that thing in there, and it's going to start charging up. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to charge up. But it can just sit here and it can charge up passively. That's not a problem for us. Okay, now that that's done, we are going to switch out our armor. We're done in Thaumcraft for a little bit, kind of. We might have to do some infusion and stuff like that, but we are kind of done in Thaumcraft. Oh, by the way, it did crash again when I got the Wand Core research. So, I think altogether, it crashed like 8 times in the process of doing that research. So, it seems to be, I mean, it could be because of my other mods, but I know Thaumcraft isn't the most stable thing, and Thaumic Tinkerer is not the most stable thing, so it could be related to one of those. I don't know, but all's well that ends well. At least it didn't crash me on a desktop, so that's good. Okay, but we need to get ourselves a cauldron. And what we can do is we can take our cauldron, set it down, and then hit it with our anointing paste. Pa-pow! We got ourselves a witch's cauldron. Okay. I'm going to toss that in there too. I don't need that right now. And that completes a quest. We get 10 gluttony shards. Okay. And I don't need that anymore. Alright, so we've got our witch's oven and our witch's cauldron. And now we are going to start some witchery. And I'm actually going to put the stuff in here for right now. And that's just because I don't have the witchery area built out yet. I'll be building that out, though, between episodes. So one thing we need to get is soft clay jars, which I have crafted these at some point, I guess. Maybe on accident, I don't know. But we got a half stack of soft clay jars. Let's go ahead and get ourselves another half stack. I'd like to start with at least a stack. Alright, and then we need to get ourselves, we'll just grab some coal. And we'll put our coal into the bottom here, in our burn slot. And whatever we're going to cook goes in the top slot. Well, oh, that's right. That's what I've made them for, class files. For some reason I was thinking I could smelt those in the witch's oven, but I can't. Okay, that's fine. Just, I don't know, make me... Actually, I don't know why I'm doing that. Let me go ahead and get... Let me order some blank patterns real quick. I'm going to go ahead and make a soft clay jar recipe here so that our system knows how to make those. And then, let's see, patterns, there we go. And I'm going to teach it a quick recipe and say that if you take a soft clay jar, and we're going to have to go get this stuff smelted up. So let me pop over to here real quick. And I'm just going to throw those in the furnace so they'll get smelted up. And, oh yeah, you know what I need to do between episodes is I need to set up another interface there for more recipes for the Redstone Furnaces, because I'm actually out and I totally forgot to set some of those up. Okay, so we'll take our 64 clay jars and processing pattern encode. Okay, and I'm just going to hold on to that recipe for now, and I'll set up an interface right after this episode and get that placed in. So I think 64 should be good for a minute. And we're going to put our clay jars right into there. And then what we're going to do is we need to make a few of these types of fumes. So first up, foul fume. This is made just smelting oak wood. You get coal and you get foul fume. It's not a 100% chance, but it's fairly decent. It's not terrible. And we can actually up the chance and the speed a little bit later. Speaking of, I'm actually kind of curious as to what it takes. Is it a quest? No, doesn't look like it. What's it take to make a fume funnel? A witch's oven, and then just some of this stuff. That's actually not terrible. That is not terrible at all. I may actually craft some of those between episodes. Now, the filtered fume funnel takes fume filters, mortar blocks, black stained glass, attuned stones, thermic restorers. Okay. Actually, the thermic restorer is not terrible. We need to make that. We definitely need to make that. Well, I mean, I guess I don't really need it so much, but, well, it's the VCO and stuff. It would be nice for that. So I might actually make that in just a second, because it would be kind of handy. Alright, but you can see we've made some charcoal, and we've got ourselves some foul fume, which is good. Now, eventually, I might want additional witches ovens just to speed up this whole process. You'll notice the chance right now is not great, and this is actually kind of slow. So I'll tell you what, while that's running, let me see, do I have the research already for the thermic restorer? Yes, I do. Right here. So, yeah, it's thermic tinkering, and I think you pretty much have to have, like, all of thermic tinkering to get calming research anyways, so. Alright, so thermic restorer. What all do we need? Gold, iron, thaumium. This recipe, I'm surprised this recipe is as cheap as it is, because the thermic restorer is like one of the best things ever. Diamond and enchanted fabric. And it's going to take a little while for that witch's oven to run anyways, so. Because we need 6 of them for the quest. Cobblestone, oak wood, and leather. And then what goes in the middle? Okay, a block of thaumium. Alright, that is not bad at all. And we've got 2 foul fumes so far. I feel like I don't remember the chance being this low, but I'm also used to being able to make like fume funnels like right out the gate too, so that's also a thing. Which this pack, I mean, I will say the fume funnels, the filtered fume funnels aren't, well, it all depends on how the recipes go, but it doesn't feel like they're going to be like super far away. Like, they're within reach, but they are still a little ways off. Okay, and this, the Thermic Restorer, it's all pretty straightforward aspects. Fabrico, do we have Fabrico? I think so. Yeah, we've got Fabrico. Alright, let's grab this wand. We've got over 200 of every, well, no, Ignis we don't have 200 of, but still, it's filling up. It's getting there. We'll throw that back in there. How's this doing? We have 3 foul fumes so far. Oh, this is like dreadfully slow. It really is. It's so bad. Okay, well, while that's crafting, because that's going to take a little while, we are going to have to get some Mutandis, but this we need exhale of the horned one. We also need to set up our Witchery Farms pretty soon. I'll probably do that between episodes. Basically just these different, the Wolfsbane, Mandrake, Belladonna, Water Archek, Snowbale, and Garlic. Now, one thing to note, Mandrake actually becomes a little creature and runs around and screams. So just be aware of that whenever you pick it. But I want to say, if I recall correctly, with like a Ender IO farming station, I don't think it breaks off into the creature. I think you just get Mandrake root. But if not, I can't remember for sure. It's been a while. Actually, I guess it's been like 2 years since I've done Witchery or something like that. It was a while back. Well, Sky Factory, I think, was the last time. And then we did, I think, a little bit of Witchery with, oh, that one pack, and I can't even think of the name of it. But anyways, it's been a while, regardless. But if the mandrakes do hatch, you can just put something there to kill mobs, and it works just as well. Anyways, there is one thing in particular, and I think we have a quest for it under insane amounts of magic. Oh yeah, this right here, Icorium AI SS Wand. We get 4 Gaia Spirits for crafting that. I almost forgot we had a quest for that. But I'm going to want an Essentia export bus. Okay, so Essentia, 2 warded jars, 2 thaumium, filtered Essentia tube, coalescence core. Alright, give me coalescence core and a filtered Essentia tube. Okay, there is our Essentia export bus, and that's going to complete a quest for us. We get 16 charged Stardust Quartz crystals. I'll go ahead and throw that and those Gaia Spirits in there. Okay, and we got our 6 foul fumes. I'm going to go ahead and just pull this out because I don't want to wait for that anymore. Which is which? We completed this quest here, and we get 10 pride shards. Okay, so next up, Breath of the Goddess. We can cook birch saplings to get that. So let's go ahead and get ourselves... no, not eucalyptus. I want birch. And we'll go with another half stack, because the chances on these, it's not great. Alright, and our Thaumic Restorer is done. So let's go ahead and grab this guy. And I think, honestly, I think we're going to have it... I actually think we're going to have it setting... We're going to move the Knowledge Inscriber to like right there. And we're going to have our Thaumic Restorer setting right here. Because generally whenever we come to this area, we come over to this little terminal section. Thaumic Restorer is something that I want easy, quick access to. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull up that marble brick. We'll put our Thaumic Restorer down right there. And let me actually go ahead and pull this up real quick. That. And we're going to take and put our Essentia export bus right there onto it. And then just grab one of these glass cables, and yeah, this shouldn't affect anything if I plug it up right here. There we go. It says device missing channel, and I'm going to want another marble brick facade. I want this thing setting right there. And then we'll just tuck this away. And you can see that it's kind of got like a spinning effect on it. And what this does, if I was to take, say, the Mortem Blade, 1424 uses remaining. Okay, you know what? I actually don't think that that'll work like that. I think we're going to have Essentia Tubes. We'll have to change this up a little bit. What we'll do then, in that case, is we'll set it up elsewhere. I'll probably put it, maybe over on this side. I think that would be okay. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to run cables out. We'll have the Thaumic Restorer setting like right here, and we'll have the Essentia pump in from here. So we'll do like a cable and export bus, and then we'll do our cable facade right there. And I'm going to have to get one more cable facade real quick. Okay. And then I just have to go underneath the floor with this. Alright, so let's go ahead and specify that this export bus exports files of Essentia, and make sure allow void, do not void Essentia to void jars is set so it doesn't waste any Essentia. And then we should be all set to plug that up, and here in a second we should see, there we go, Instrumentum is getting pumped over to this. And then what we're going to have to do is actually dump that out and give me one more Essentia tube. There we go, just need 2 of these, and we'll just run this over. You know what, I think it needs to plug up, yeah, like right in there. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll set it like right there. No, I meant to go down one. We'll have it setting like that. Okay, so then if I was to take, say, the Mortem Blade, you're going to see that starts flashing. So right now it has 1,472 uses remaining. And we'll give it just a minute here. 1,520 uses remaining. So basically it's going to fix durability, so I don't have to actually repair stuff anymore. Instead I can just throw it into there and it'll repair itself. Okay. Quite a handy block. An Instrumentum, I mean, we've got that automated. It's not a problem for it to use a little bit of that. So you'll see, I mean, it's steadily dropping. I mean, it's going to use Instrumentum at a decent rate, but oops. We have this. We have Eldritch Guardian Friend. There we go. Seems to be the only one on the mini-map, so he was just trying to jump me because I didn't have my sword. Okay, so our Wood Ash and our Breath of the Goddess is done. So I'm going to go ahead and snag that stuff. And we'll get back on our witchery stuff. So Breath of the Goddess, we get 10 Greed Shards. And then Wood Ash, they want us to get 10 of that. We get 2 Gusty Cores. We're starting to get into a lot better rewards. Like, the rewards are actually substantial. Getting substantial at this point, so. Okay, and then we're going to need Exhale of the Horned One. This is Oak Saplings. We get Wood Ash and then Chances at Exhale of the Horned One. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a half stack of that and get that running. And then they also want us to get Quicklime. This stuff, oh, it's made in a Crucible on here. Crafted in a Crucible using Wood Ash, 16 Gellum, 16 Perfodio, 16 Ignis, and 16 Percantio. And they want us to get 10 of it. And it's one at a time. Oh my gosh. I do not have Perfodio automated. What would be the best way to do that? Oh, Iron Pick, I guess. Okay, that has 4 Perfodio. Let me just grab a bunch of these. The worst thing about these is I don't know of anything that has Perfodio that stacks. Like, I feel like it all just doesn't stack. I just realized I don't know why I'm grabbing all those right now. Because I've got to set up a storage disk for that. So, but okay, there we go. Our sword is fully repaired. And we don't have to use XP and all that anymore to do so. Go ahead and throw my chest plate into there. I don't know why it's not letting me fly, because I have an angel ring. Alright, but I'm going to get one of these picks running. And I've got to make, I'm totally out of storage discs for Essentia. So, I'm going to have to make one for Perfodia, whatever. Oh, I did make an extra 4K. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Easy enough. There we go. How's this coming along? This thing takes forever to fill. It really does. Okay, so we've got that. I need warded jars, though. Okay, I've got some of that stuff running, and we've got some Perfodio building up. So, to make that quicklime, how much was it? It was 16 per. I'm going to have to get that automated between episodes. I am for sure. I may go with, like, iron. It's a little bit less, but it's a little bit more common of a material. But anyways, our exhales of the horned one, these are done. Okay, so we have the 6 base ones that they wanted us to get, and they're going to give us 10 tank shards. Okay. Also, this is done. Okay, so anyways, next up, which we'll probably, actually probably right now. Yeah, see, we've got a bit of Perfodio made. I do want to go ahead and automate that, and like the recipe for it. So we're going to say that if you take wood ash, and then we'll just go run this through real quick. I'm going to run it through this one here. I'll go ahead and remove anointing paste. And that's how you make quicklime. And we'll let that craft up. So, alright. Because we are going to need quite a bit of quicklime in the future. Of course, the quest wants us to get 10. We'll get that by next episode. I'm not going to worry too much about it getting all of that this episode. So, 2 icy cores. Okay, so now we need to make some Mutandis. This is where things get fun. And we are going to have to get some mandrake root. Yeah, I'm going to have to set up farms for this stuff, like right now. I will go ahead and show you, though, which I am going to craft these, just so I can show you what they do, too. These things are quite handy. But let me get some bone meal, because I have a feeling we're probably going to end this episode a little bit early. But actually, this episode took me longer than any other episode to record because of all the research and different stuff. But that's okay. Because right now, I'm kind of at the point now with Witchery, and I should have got this done between episodes, and I just wasn't thinking when I was working on the stuff between episodes. And partially, I think, because I just had so much going on between the episodes, like to prep. But we're at the point I've got to do a bit of stuff. Get some stuff running and everything, but we'll put down our mandrakes, and if we grow this up and then harvest it, you'll notice it spawns a little mandrake and it gives you nausea too. But if you throw on your earmuffs, put this on our head, we don't get nausea anymore from the mandrakes. They can't actually hurt you at all. They just give you nausea. Like that's their like little debuff that they give you. And then if you kill them, you can get mandrake root. And I'm going to go ahead and actually just harvest a few of these. See, that's my 4th one. There we go, 4 mandrake root. Alright, so let's head back up here. And you'll notice, I mean, this thing nulls any sound in the game. Not just mandrakes, but all sound is gone. Let me go ahead and switch that back, because I do want to hear things. Alright, so we've got our mandrake root. We're also going to need some eggs. So we'll grab like 4 of those, or we'll go ahead and do 5 crafts of Mutandis. This crafts like 6 at a time. So we're actually going to come out of this with a lot of Mutandis, but I do suggest you make a lot of this whenever you make it, because it takes a while to get what you're after, truth be told. And then let me get a flint and steel, and let me get some netherrack. Okay, we'll set this thing down like right there, and then we'll put our, let's see, do I have, grab one of these, put our witch's cauldron down like right there. This is, of course, just temporary spot until I get the witchery area built. And we'll go ahead and light that on fire. And now we need our buckets of water. So make me 2 more of those. And there we go. And you're going to see that it's going to start bubbling. That means it's ready to craft with. So what we'll do is we'll take and throw mandrake root, egg, exhale the horned one in there. And you'll notice it's going to change color, and we're going to get some potion effects. And then here in a second, pow, come on. There we go. We got our 6 Mutandis. Okay. And then we can rinse and repeat. And I'm going to go ahead and make 1 more batch of Mutandis for right now. I imagine I'll probably be making a bit of it between episodes. Let's see. And I will say the witchery stuff, I'd like to get that automated. Possibly start automating witchery next episode. Because witchery's one, if you don't automate it early, it becomes a pain. Because you have to go back and craft these things like over and over again. And it's no fun. You don't want to have to do that. So, but anyways, there's 12 Mutandis for us. And that means this quest is completed. We get 2 earthen cores. And you can see now we have quests to get rowan sapling, hawthorn sapling, alder sapling. Now these 3 are very, very important. Also Spanish moss, very important. Ember moss, glintweed, and int twig. Int twig, that's a little bit different. We don't use Mutandis to get that. We actually have to cut down trees from witchery. There's a chance you'll get kind of like a mini boss called an int. And whenever you kill him, you get an int twig. But anyways, what we need to do is we need to take our Mutandis, go find ourselves like a piece of grass or a sapling or a flower, and just right click it. You can see that created a mushroom. But I can go ahead and change it again. There's our hawthorn sapling. Okay, so we definitely want to go ahead and pick that up. And then let's go find ourselves another piece of grass. Dark oak, don't want that. Oak, birch, jungle, glintweed. And this one, if I recall correctly, most of these weeds, like the ember moss, the glintweed, stuff like that, you have to use shears on. So make sure, just use those. Just to be on the safe side. And there's an alder sapling. And there we go. And lily pad. Okay. Well, we've completed a couple quests here. The glintweed is done. We don't get anything for that. But we did get that. It basically, that glintweed, it gives off light. I don't believe that there's anything. Oh, we do need it for this. But anyways, for getting our hawthorn sapling, we get to pick a soul shard or a life shard. And then the same thing for the alder sapling. I'm just going to take 1 of each, I guess. Because I'm going to need both of them, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dump these into the... No, I'm going to dump them in my bag, actually. Make sure and keep an eye on where they're at. I'm going to go ahead and get us a little bit more Mutandis. There we go. And let's try to get that other sapling at least. Rowan sapling. Is that the one we needed? Yes. And we get to pick another one. We're going to take a... we're going to take a life shard. There we go. So we got our 3 saplings. Now we're still trying to get ember moss and Spanish moss. So let's keep trying for that. At least get our plants knocked out. There's ember moss. Now this one, I do recall, I think you need shears for this one as well. There we go. And that completes this quest. We get 2 fire cores. And then Spanish moss. No luck. Okay. 6 more Mutandis. Man. Okay, I've got the stuff on me for 1 more Mutandis. If we don't get it on this, that's fine. Basically, you can get Spanish moss from this. But as you can tell, the chances aren't the best. It's all random. I don't think there's any better chance to get any one other than the other. I think it's just all random. Luck of the draw, RNG kind of a thing. Acacia, dark oak. Spanish moss. There we go. That is what we were after. So we'll just snag that. And there we go. And this grows like any other kind of vine. So you can just plant it on like a flat surface and it's going to grow. There we go. We get 10 envy shards. Whoops. Okay, so we've gotten all the plants from Mutandis. And we're at the point now where we can make like our altar and stuff. But I do believe we're going to end out this episode here because I need to get farms in place for Witchery. I need to get stuff automated for Portfolio. I believe it's called, or whatever it's called, however you pronounce it. By the way, this quicklime recipe, let's go ahead and put this into here. And encode. There we go. I know it's not exactly wrapping up point right now, but it's fairly close. I haven't edited down all the footage, but I know we're not too far off on that. Next episode, when we come back, we may start working on some Witchery automation, but we will definitely progress through Witchery. I would like to get the altar next episode. So, and we'll be at the point where we can get that quicklime knocked out. We'll probably get an int twig by then, honestly. Because I'm going to want to set up farms for the saplings. And I also need to set up farms for these crops here. We've got quite a bit of farming to do. We're also going to do a farm for Spanish moss. We'll probably do that next episode on camera and automate it because we're going to need a bit of that Spanish moss as we progress. So that is the plan moving forward. And I'm actually really excited that we got this set up. I don't know why it took me so long to get around to setting this up, but it is quite handy to have. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really excited about where we're about to be going into, which is a lot of Witchery moving forward. So it's going to be fun stuff. Very, very fun stuff. So, as always, if you guys have any questions or anything, do let me know, and I would do my best to get those answered for you. And I hope to see you guys next time. So, until then, as always, do take care. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.